Well, welcome to Going Solo. We are so glad to have you on here today. I am Cece Schatz. I'm the doyenne of relationship building. We are on Going Solo, a life after relationship loss on WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. And those of you that don't know, we are a TV, radio, and a podcast station. We are actually the #1 internet singles talk network. And that is all because of you. And we want to thank you so much for that. We are so pleased. So all of you, make sure you go to goingsolomedia.com. Goingsolomedia.com. That's where we have all of our wonderful hosts and guests. All of their information is on there. You can check out all their links and their bios and all that great stuff, and check out all the various different shows that we have for you on numerous topics. So we hope that you'll enjoy that. But let's get on with our show today because we've got a lot going on. We are going to talk about divorce sucks, but it doesn't define us, right? And we've got a wonderful guest here with us today. We have TH of exPERTS. And so thank you for being with us here today.
Thank you so much for having me, and congratulations on the show. It's really amazing what we can do, right? When we put our mind to something and an opportunity comes our way. So you built this from nothing and look at it now. Congratulations.
Yeah. Well, thank you. And, same to you, because I want to point out your site, the exPERTS. So it's exEXPERTS.com. Check it out.
So
you have a free online resource to help women of all ages navigate their divorce. So please check that out. And, TH, we've got your email there too. They can email you. So I want to make sure that we have that readily available for them. But let's talk a little bit about this, divorce sucks. We all know divorce sucks. We know that it's just one of the worst times in our lives, right? So tell us a little bit about you and why you decided to help people through really kind of the darkest times of their lives. So tell us about how you got started and what you're doing.
Well, just like you, and so we made it our tagline, we've lived it, so we get it, right? For anything in life, you have a new baby. Nobody really wants to hear how many poops your kid had in the day unless they have a new baby. Nobody really wants to hear about your divorce unless they're going through it. So my colleague and best friend, Jessica, and I literally went through our divorces lock and step with one another. Our husbands were carrying on extramarital affairs, traveling with their girlfriends, covering for one another. So when it imploded for both of them at the same time. Now, for me, my divorce was actually not the worst thing for me. Actually, let me correct that. The process of divorce sucks, no question about it. But the opportunity I was given to move on from my marriage and not be stuck with that man for the rest of my life was one of the greatest days of my life. I was set free. I was suffocating in my marriage. It was not a healthy marriage. I was not healthy in it. And I was literally set free because his girlfriend, fiance, called me to make sure that we weren't still married because she was engaged. And I told her that she saved my life that day. And she did. Like, that's literally, those are the words that came out of my mouth. And for Jessica, it was different. She had been with her husband, for half of her life at that point. And so she was upset, and her identity and all of the things. So we experienced the emotions a little bit differently, as well as the process. But we knew that for most people going through divorce, it's a lonely time. Family has judgment. Everybody's got advice. Everybody saw it coming, right? That's just what you want to hear. And so Jessica and I had each other. We didn't have to talk to anybody else about it. And that's why we created exEXPERTS and the Divorce Etc. podcast, because everybody really should have a girlfriend to go to when you're going through it, whether you're a man or a woman. We are your girlfriends through it all. We've learned a lot in our own lives, and we've learned a ton through the almost over 200 podcast interviews we've conducted with all different experts related to all points of divorce and moving on with your life. So that's how it started, and that's our purpose.
I love it. I absolutely love it. I love what you guys do. And I like that, experts. I think that's it. It's so cool. It's a very cool name too for your business. So I
Thank
really
you.
like that. It's hard, when you're going through the divorce, all of the elements of the process itself is draining on you. But then you look at your life and you think, what is in store for you? And
Yep.
there's so much sorrow a lot of times that people do experience. Unlike you, a lot, we don't see always, the light at the end of the tunnel, where you were saying, hallelujah, let's get it done. Let's move on. And I've got, bigger and better things to do with my life. And that's awesome. But those that don't, what do you suggest? I mean, do you have some tips for them to be able to kind of start moving through the process and being able to get through? I guess number one I can think of is, join a support group like yours,
Yep.
something like you. I mean, I know that I have one here locally. I do then, and what you do. And it's so important to join that. And so that you have that support. So to me, the number one thing would be getting that support that you need. So what else would you
100%.
suggest?
Community is everything, and
Mhm.
like-minded community. There are a lot of communities out there, so be really careful, especially on Facebook. There are a lot of toxic groups that will leave you stuck, and all they do is kind of fuel the fury. She did this and he did that. And it's just like a pit of anger. So please stay away from those. Look for
Mhm.
a support group of healthy people who maybe are a few steps ahead of you. And yes, we lead by example at exEXPERTS. All of our social everything, every single day, we are giving you tips. We are leading by example. But for Jessica, she was very upset. And I had probably mourned the loss of my marriage 5 years before I got the phone call. I was over it. I was ready. I just needed someone to tell me it was okay to go because I had 3 kids under 8 and I felt tremendous guilt. And so the other thing I would say is don't underestimate yourself. I
Mhm.
think that for me in my marriage, I was very small. I did not have a voice. I had very low self esteem. And I like literally wouldn't recognize that woman today. And so educating myself through my lawyer initially, because we didn't have resources like your show and exEXPERTS back then. But I educated myself through Jessica too. Then all of a sudden you start to like build a superpower somehow. You're like, oh, okay, well, that makes sense. And then this makes sense. And oh, I'm not crazy after all. Oh, I'm right. That wasn't true. I knew that wasn't true. And your gut feelings start to be validated. So find support, educate yourself, give yourself grace. Okay. I was thrilled to be out of my marriage. My divorce took 4 years, 3 judges, 2 mediators, every expert in the book. It was unbelievable that he would not just grant me my divorce or come to any agreement on anything. Everything was a disagreement until the day of trial when he decided to settle. So emotionally, I was ready to go, but I was stuck in a court system and a process and trying to divorce an extremely difficult man who would not let me go regardless of his own personal, relationship status. You can't be married and engaged at the same time to two different women. You can't. So, really, there were a lot of times when I was very upset, walking into court every month, being humiliated, being called names and being treated as if I'm not a good mom. You know, let yourself cry. Let
Yeah.
yourself feel the feelings because I'm telling you, I bottled him up for my entire marriage. And I felt like if I didn't feel anything, then he couldn't hurt me and I'd be okay. But that's really unhealthy for your body and your soul and your mind. So give yourself grace is a third tip. And probably the number one thing I would do, which I happen to have already had, luckily enough, is a fabulous therapist. because she taught me how to divorce him. She taught me how to decipher noise from fact. She taught me how to create boundaries, all of which we teach people now. But she really helped me. She's like, your divorce is going to suck, TH. I'm telling you right now, this man has these issues and you're going along for the ride, whether you want to or not. So
That's
find a
right.
really good
Mhm.
therapist, because it's not always healthy also to put all of your thoughts and needs in a group that you don't want it to be gossip, and you want someone who's trained to really help you move through however you ended up where you are and help you get to where you want to go.
Yeah, that is great advice. I do like that very much because so often, we'll be stuck in that part, that and we want to be stuck in that story, right?
Yeah.
And the reality is that you're going to get divorced one way or the other. So why sit here and fight or whatever that you're going to be doing? Try to, take the easy road if you can. That's, economical for you, of course, but you want to be able to get through that. And so what I like about everything that you do and what I do too is that would show people that there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is something that's for you once you get through the process. And getting through the process can be very daunting for
Yeah.
some, and that I totally understand because I experienced the same thing you too. Mine was 3 years, so
I
I
mean,
totally,
it's crazy.
yeah.
It's really, the system is so antiquated anyway, and then depending on who you're divorcing, it's
Mhm.
all complicated. So really being healthy in your life, creating healthy habits for yourself, giving yourself time to clear your head. I'm a workout junkie, so I've become less junky about it and more intentional. So I don't bring my phone when I go for a walk anymore, and I don't bring my phone into the gym. And I'm fully intentional on what I do because I really needed that space to just think, because you can't think when a million people are telling you and making you feel a certain way.
Right, right. I do like that. Yeah, because we do sometimes need to have that silence. We need to have that quiet time to be able to try to start processing it, as we go through. So often we don't allow ourselves that space,
No.
that time.
Right.
And yeah, we need to, most certainly.
The other thing that I like to tell people, and I work with a lot of women in particular right now, is divorce happens for you, not to you. It's a
Hmm.
thing. I'm not saying it doesn't suck. I'm not saying it doesn't cost a lot of money. I'm not saying it's not emotional, but it is another thing in your life that happens. I'm
Hmm.
also a cancer survivor. That's something that happened to me, but it really was for me. It showed me my resilience, my ability to recover, the importance of being healthy. So, in a way, it happened for me to kind of keep building my muscle in my brain, in my heart, really listen to my gut. If my body's not feeling well, then I'm not pushing it today. It's okay. So, divorce is something that happened for me because it gave me an opportunity to take a step back, look at myself. I don't know about you, CC, but I definitely have to take responsibility in my marriage.
Hmm.
A marriage takes two. And look, I didn't cheat. I didn't lead a double life. I didn't lie. I didn't do any of the things he did. But what I did do is I allowed someone to treat me like crap.
Hmm.
I allowed someone to disrespect me on a regular basis and degrade me and gaslight me, plus having kids and doing that in front of our children and leading by a lesser example than I would like for my children. I didn't care about me. I was irrelevant, and that's not okay. So divorce happened for me because it showed me that I am important and what I do in this world is impactful and I do have a voice. And so that's kind of a way to look at it and flip the narrative. Whenever you're in a bad place, what's the other side of it? And
Hmm.
really, we also coach people on putting up Post-its on their mirrors, on their fridge. that being your screensaver on your phone, positive mantras. There was a woman I was working with. She had a picture of her husband's girlfriend on her screensaver. I go, why are you doing that? You're going to wake up every day and that's who you want to see? She goes, well, I'm so angry. I go, I hear you, but you're letting her ruin your day. You're letting her literally start your day in the dumps. Get rid of it. Let's find mantras that resonate with you, or pictures, or a place you want to go visit. You have to start your day off right.
Yeah, you have to start dreaming, start finding your joy again, and start dreaming a little bit about what it is that you really see your new life step into being single. So often we don't think that we need to create that transition, that transition from being, divorced to then now becoming single. And so we have to allow ourselves that grace to be able to transition into that.
Yep.
But yeah, I love that. I love being able to. I used to do that too. I'd put things all over everywhere and try to be able to get through. I don't do it as much now. I still have some, but I don't do it quite as much now. But I needed it then. I needed that positive environment to be able to, kind of embrace me, most certainly.
Right, because it's hard to train your brain to think that way. So if you have the visuals around you, I literally have 50 mugs, okay, on 3 shelves. And most of them have something written on it. And every morning I drink tea. So I figure out, do I want to go big or go home today? Do I want to be a girl boss? Do I just want to have a sunflower on my mug today without a message? But that is how I start my day. That's where my mantras live, on all of my mugs. So it could be anywhere. It could be anywhere you want it to be.
Well, that's very positive, very good information. Well, we're going to have to take a quick break. When we come back, let's talk a little bit more about this. And let's talk about opening, because we did that a little bit before the show. We talked about really when things come into your life, being, able to embrace them, right? To be able to move forward and allow those things to come into your life, to make the changes that need to be made. And so I love you so much. You are so great to have on. It's so super. TH from exEXPERTS. And so let's make sure that we share your information. You can reach her at TH at exEXPERTS. That's exEXPERTS.com. And of course, the website is the same, exEXPERTS. It's exEXPERTS.com. So make sure you guys reach out. It is a free online resource for you. So take advantage of that, because I think you'll definitely learn it. And, I know that a lot of the, and I just want to say this real quick, but I know a lot of the information that you provide and help for women. But, come on, guys, if you need the help too, all the information is there and it can be applied to you. So if you're finding yourself going through divorce, you're having a difficult time, then definitely go on the website, check it out. And I'm sure there's a lot of great information there that can also relate to you to be able to help you move forward. So let's move on with our commercial and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm John Thomas. I want to share with you a professional products and services directory we call Going Solo Directory. And you need to check this out. If you want exposure to your business or are seeking professional product or services, this directory has it all. And that membership, for the many special features, you get the benefit of a worldwide exposure with a 40-minute video interview on an international business show showcase. All this for just one low annual fee. For more information, contact goingsolodirectory.com.
Welcome back. You guys are listening to WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. This is the Going Solo Life After Relationship Loss. I am CC Schatz, the doyenne of relationship building. And all of our information, again, is right on goingsolomedia.com. So check that out. We have our wonderful guest here today. We are so very pleased to have her, TH from exEXPERTS. And we're talking about divorce sucks, but it doesn't define you. And we talked a little bit about the first part of the show, how to kind of get through the muck of divorce, understanding that you're not the only one that's going through it. So don't feel alone as you're moving forward with that. And then TH gave us some great tips on being able to start the process of moving forward, getting through to that light at the tunnel, right? Being able to start developing a new life that you want. So let's talk a little bit about that now. We're going to talk about when the door opens. I always say this all the time. It's like God will open the door for me, but I think I've got to try to climb through the window. So, so when opportunities arise that we want to take advantage of them, and just like for me, I'm doing this business, you're doing your business. Who would have thought we would be doing things like this and helping people and loving the life that we're in? So let's share with them about, understanding that when something opens, it comes forward to you to grasp it rather than be afraid of it.
Yeah. And listen, it takes time. Nothing's overnight. I had a lot of learning to do about myself, really believing in myself. And that really happened with therapy. But I did put myself out there. I never sat in my house. I was social. I dipped my toe in the water. Like I remember the first party I went to after my separation. And look, he was the bad guy. So it was kind of easy to go to a party in my town, except we were the gossip of the town.
Oh,
so
dear.
I was not prepared for the questions, but I thought I was prepared. I'm like, I'm going with friends who are a couple. So I'm going there safely, air quotes, but I knew everybody at the party. But all that happened to me was I was bombarded by questions about my divorce and him. And now I would tell people, still go to the party. And if someone comes up to you and asks you, say, you know what, I would rather not talk about it. How are your kids doing? Flip it around. Practice in the mirror. It's not easy. You get cornered the most random places, the supermarket, the doctor's office, or a party, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't get out there. It doesn't mean you shouldn't go to the park. It doesn't mean you shouldn't see people, but just be prepared with a stock statement, thank you for asking. We're all doing great. How are you guys doing? Flip it around and then enjoy yourself at the party, enjoy yourself at the park or wherever or whatever else you are doing, but definitely put yourself out there. The other thing, go ahead.
No, that I agree. I think it's absolutely right. It's because, I when I was first divorced, I decided I wasn't going to let him win, right? And meaning that
what does that mean? Because people think winning means that he took all the money or you took all the money. That's what it means when it comes to divorce. So what do you think it means, CC, to win?
Well, for me, it's me moving on with my life. I wasn't going to sit and be, I wasn't talking about the divorce aspect of it, but just living my life to the fullest. He's moved on, right? Like with yours and already, knee deep in a relationship. And I thought, I'm not going to be sitting here crying in my soup, thinking my life is over. I'm not going to let him, feel or think that, he's crushed me or whatever. And maybe he didn't even think that. I don't know. But in my head, I was thinking, I'm
Probably not. Yes. But if
Yeah.
that's the reason to move
Right.
on, then use
Yeah.
it.
So
Yeah.
I'm going to survive, and that wonderful song that, what's her name? Like, it's Gaynor, I think, something Gaynor.
I will survive.
I will survive. I
Yeah.
love that song. That was our theme song for our divorce group. And so, yeah, so it's like, that's exactly how I felt. And I thought, I'm not gonna, sit here and I'm going to get out. I'm going to do things. And so I forced myself to go to, like you said, to parties, go to, groups and things like that. I joined a group and started my own group and did a bunch of things like that to be able to start building my life. And as I started doing that, I realized I built my self-confidence, but I realized I could do a whole lot more than I ever thought I could do.
Right.
Because I was in this actually shell of a person, like you had said.
Yep.
So yeah, so when I started breaking that shell, I started to learn there's a lot of things I can do that I started being excited about life.
Yeah. I am with you. I would also encourage anybody, whether you had worked or you were a stay-at-home mom, to go find a purpose, find a job, go and volunteer, give of yourself so that you can learn. So if you don't need to work and you don't want to work, then go and volunteer. There are plenty of places that need your help, need your expertise, need your energy, need your excitement and your knowledge and your experience. So go and do for others, because that will also help you with your own self-confidence. And if a career, or forget about a career, a job is something that you've been toying with, but you're like, well, I don't know about computers. I've been out of the workforce for a long time. Whatever the excuses that you're telling yourself, you literally have nothing to lose in applying for the job, right? Nothing. We have another woman, and side note, we work with men too. We love great men and we love great women. And we don't get along as well with men and women who are not so great and who are not looking to move forward and transform. So yes, blanket statement there. We've done events with men. We have lots of interviews with men and a man's perspective on divorce. And so I want to say that. But I had a career, and then my career kind of took a pivot because the company imploded. But I was scrappy. I was selling stuff on eBay and I was like, oh, I like this. And then I started selling the innards of homes before they were knocked down. I'm like, oh, I'm making more money. This is great. I can do this. I have little kids at home. And then I got a job with a startup, local startup. And then that led to me having a full-blown career producing large-scale events for a media company and then for USA Today across the country. All of which I created myself, all of which I did myself. I had resources, but I had to tell them what the image was. I had to tell them what the thought was. I had to tell them. I never, ever, ever thought I was doing that. I was working for a consulting firm as a marketing specialist. Now I'm like an experience expert, they call me. So what I loved about it, which kind of aligns with exEXPERTS, is I feel very fulfilled when I build a space and an experience where people are learning and growing and having fun. So I did events with 20,000 people at a food truck event. I did events with 200 women at a focused women's, I don't hate the word empowerment, but an engagement event. Like you're highly engaged, you're in the moment, you're present, you're learning, you're connecting with people. So I have done all of those things. And exEXPERTS is another place where you realize you're not crazy. You're not alone. You're capable of so much more, like CC just said. And all CC and I have done for everybody listening is keep our eyes open and say, what the hell? I got nothing to lose. Like literally say that to yourself. I've got nothing to lose in applying for the job. If I don't get the job, I'm going to ask them why.
Hmm.
Okay, so I need to learn this. Okay, guess what? What COVID did do for all of us was give us significant resources, most of them free online. You can learn anything. Make a commitment to yourself, be accountable to yourself, and you can make anything happen. So divorce doesn't define you. Nothing defines you except how you choose to be defined.
Yeah, that excellent, excellent. And I found too, and I think many others have also felt the same thing, is that the more we learn, the more we step out, the things that we do that we never thought we would do, if we have an interest in, like you said, we take a course, we take some knowledge, we go on YouTube and watch YouTube,
Right.
shows about it. I mean, there's so many ways to learn things now. And but it really kind of lights a fire in you, so that you can broaden. And it doesn't necessarily mean that that's where you'll end up, because what I realize is that, where I am today is not where I'm going to be tomorrow. And
Right.
so I just continue to grow, and we just evolve as we continue. So yeah, I think it's really terrific. We're going to have to close the show, and I hate to do that because I'm having so much fun. But can you share some last words with us?
I'll tell you one other thing. There's a woman I know who got a divorce. She was devastated. She was a stay-at-home mom. She always dreamed of traveling. She never worked. You know what she did? She became a flight attendant, and she travels all over the world, and she did the training, and she is living her best life. You guys all have a choice. Whether you're telling yourself you do or not is the problem. It's not that you don't have the opportunity. It's a matter of the voice inside your head recognizing that you can do anything. So these are the kind of mantras you need around you. You can do it. You are not alone. Dream big. Why not? Dream big. It may be that, it may be something different. You have one life to live. You have choices, you have voices, you have support. And when you educate yourself, anything is possible.
Absolutely. Wonderful words to share. Thank you so much. So again, you guys, you can reach TH at exEXPERTS. That's EXEXPERTS.com. So make sure that you check out their website and all their great information there, because you guys got tons of information on your website. So it's terrific. So thank you so much, TH. We appreciate you and all that you do. And thank you for spending the time with us today.
Thank you so much for having me on the show and for sharing exEXPERTS. And listen, guys, when you DM us or you email us, it's us who's looking at it, not an assistant, not a bot. We are literally answering your questions. You can ask us anything. We will guide you and help you. You're going to be okay.
That's great. That's terrific. So you guys, if you want to reach me, all you have to do is go goingsolonetwork@gmail.com. Again, our website is goingsolomedia.com. And then, of course, you can find anything on goingsolonetwork.com. So make sure that you send those emails. I love them. I read them like TH does. I read them all myself. I answer them all myself, and I love them. So thank you so much. And I want to thank you guys for joining us. We are so appreciative of you and all that you do. So this is WGSN-DB Going Solo Network. You are listening to the Going Solo Life After Relationship Loss. I am Cece Schatz, the doyen of relationships, and I'm so very pleased to have you with us here today. So check back with us, and we'll catch you next time. Bye for now.